I'm Bob Fryer here in the AAPEX studios. I want to thank our sponsors, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care. We are joined by Stefan Fetter. He is the head of sales for Continental Contitech. Good to have you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I've interviewed so many people in so many different industries, and the word sustainability is always thrown out there. It seems like it's, lost its meaning, like it's some catchword that just keeps getting thrown out there. How would you define sustainability?
Yeah, I would not even say it's not only a catchword. I would even say that for some people, sustainability is even scary.
Oh yeah.
So, but I don't think it has to be. So to me, sustainability is like really trying to reach your goals,
right,
without compromising future generations to also be able to hit their goals.
That's
so
fair.
That's like kind of a simplified version of it, and it's like, really trying to be mindful with the resources that you're using, using the right resources, and using as less resources as possible.
Okay, and in so doing, you make more money, you increase your financials, but there's a school of thought that also says you gotta spend money to make money, you gotta use your resources to generate more things. Is there some balance, some tipping point?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask yourself okay, how can I contribute and become more sustainable? To me, it's like always you can do two things. And one of the things is this mindfulness with your resources and trying to reduce the use of resources as much as possible.
Okay.
Or use other resources, like going from plastic to paper. But I mean, in that example of reducing the resources to the absolute minimum, that's where you have the chance to really also have that saving and do something good for your bottom line.
I was just going to say, that creates opportunities, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, for example, I mean, if you look at, on our case, for example, when we look at our products, in the past, we were putting in all our products paper installation instructions.
Okay.
So, which is a need for the installers really to get that support in order to put in the parts properly. Mm-hmm. But we're now doing the same thing, providing the same information to the installers, but we're taking the papers out and provide that to them electronically.
Digitally, yeah.
So in that case, we still provide the same amount of service, but we also have a saving because we don't need to, in the packaging process, we can eliminate that step of putting the paper in.
Right.
So we have labor cost saving,
right.
But on the other side, we also have all that paper saving.
Right.
And all this paper saving is a positive contribution to the environment because we not need to cut down trees in order to get the paper produced.
Yeah, it does. It makes you wonder why they still print out the yellow pages and the white pages when we can all just access it on our phones.
And you talked about taxes. The other example, what our company recently does, they spread out to all the employees inside North America, which is about like 18,000-ish.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, please activate that link, and then we don't need to send your W-2 by paper to you.
Right.
But we send it to you electronically.
Correct.
So again, no use of paper, have that saving there, and on the other side also don't have that like the delivery, right? So, and also saving that delivery of going from door to door. So,
what do you see companies doing in the future to really maximize this?
I mean, we in the aftermarket, we do a lot. We already are sustainable by definition. Okay. We support that the car stays longer on the street. So, and the longer the car stays on the street, no new cars need to be produced, right? And then on the other hand, also when you keep your car in the best shape possible, it runs as efficient as possible. And if it runs as efficient as possible, it reduces the emissions, right? And less emissions, it's better for the environment.
Yeah.
So our industry, the aftermarket, is sustainable by default. But regardless from that, there's so much that our industry is doing in order to also the way they handle it, or the processes that are established, reviewing that, make them leaner and make them more sustainable.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Right at the beginning of the interview, you said, so we save our resources for the next generation.
Yeah.
And then right then you mentioned the environment as well, because my first thought was, saving the planet type thing when you said that.
Yeah, and I talked about there's two things that you can do. So one portion is really like being mindful of the resources that you use.
Right.
The other big portion when it comes to it is recycling. So of course we can't avoid to not use any resources at all.
Of course.
So, and then also when it comes to our industry, the old parts that we're taking out of the car, how do we handle the recycling process? Right. So if you look for battery, for example, I mean, that is something where our industry is super advanced.
Okay.
And it's like almost all batteries which are taken out of the car are going back into the recycling process.
Right.
So I think it's like over 98% of the batteries that are taken out are getting into that recycling process. But there are a lot of other parts that we're taking out that can be, we can be better in recycling. So like scrap metal, for example. And that, again, coming back to what's your benefit for that, is there are companies out there that are specialized in buying that scrap metal from you and pay you for that scrap metal.
Right.
So I, as an installer, have the choice, do I put that scrap metal that I take out of the car, do I put it in a dumpster, or do I just give a call to that company that is buying that from me and at least generate a little bit of payback? Yeah,
for both.
Yeah.
Stefan, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah.
And again, make sure and check out our sponsors down there in Joe's Garage. We want to thank them, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care. They are bringing their cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, all-in-one digital. I messed it up. Sorry. What is it?
We're not doing the whole recording
No, just
again,
this part again. What is it? It's what is it? Diagnostics. Thank you. I'm gonna do it one more time, guys. Here we go. 3, 2. And again, we want to thank our sponsors, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care, who are bringing their cutting-edge, all-in-one diagnostics capabilities to the auto repair space for the very first time. I'm Bob Fryer right here in the AAPEX studios. We'll see you right back here very soon.